Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You've tuned in to the Free Range Human Show of Choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show, and it is the all-new Trash Talk Tuesday here on the Clay Edwards Show. Hope everybody's having a good morning out there. I was riding in this morning, just enjoying the drive. Always enjoy watching fellow morning commuters almost lose their lives because they do not know how to drive in and around Jackson, Mississippi. One of the deadliest, scariest, and also simultaneously most entertaining intersections in this town is the, what do you call it? Is it an on-ramp? It's not an on-ramp. It's the whatever it's called, the ramp, we'll call it, the exit from I-20 West to 220 North. Right there is one of the most death-defying turns you will make in this city. Merging lanes. I don't know what the technical name for it is. Either way, every morning there's somebody in the right lane that's trying to go around everybody in the left lane, because everybody in the left lane needs to merge into the left lane of 220 as traffic is merging from I-20 East into 220 North. And every morning, somebody almost loses their life because nobody wants to let anybody over. Raise your hand if you don't like to let anybody over that tries to do that. And I have my hand raised here in the studio this morning. I do. Get behind everybody else instead of trying to slingshot around everybody and cause a wreck. Shout out to the white Toyota Camry TRD with the Ole Miss tag this morning. You, my friends, are an a-hole, and I hope you have a flat tire somewhere along your journeys today. I hope you're listening right now. Trash Talk Tuesday. Going to be a new thing that we try here on the show. Always try to reinvent the show a little bit, have a little fun, make it more interactive. Phone line is the Mazda of Jackson phone line. It's 601-879-0002. Think Family Guy, Peter Griffin, what grinds my gears? Let you call in, trash talk anything or anybody you want. Keep last names out of it. And if it's businesses, I would prefer not bash locally owned businesses. You know, national conglomerates. If you got a bad story you want to tell, whatever, I don't care. If you want to trash your family, you want to trash your Thanksgiving experience, you want to trash your ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, ex-wife, whatever. The phone line's wide open. What grinds your gears? Who do you want to trash talk? I heard this segment years and years ago, and then again this morning, I was listening to a little sports talk out of New York on XM, and they were doing something similar. And I was like, well, you know what? All good ideas have been stolen, so I'll be the first to admit this is not an original idea. So we'll kind of do that in the background of today. Oh, of course, politicians, sports teams, any other stuff you would like to trash, Jackson politicians, Jacksonians as a whole. If for some reason you have an issue with a Rancantonian or a Madisonian, is that what y'all are in Madison? I've never said that before. Are you a Madisonian? A Madisonite? Madisonite. That sounds like a cult, doesn't it? Well, I guess it could be. We're streaming worldwide on WYAB.com as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. We are also streaming in 4K all day here on the Save JXN, X, Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. We were not streaming on Facebook yesterday. Let me make sure that we are this morning. For some reason, when I set this stuff up in advance, it's been a crapshoot on if it actually goes over to Facebook or not. All right, we are streaming on the big Facebook page at Save JXN. I had to load it up as a pre-recorded show yesterday after we were done. Hey, big event coming up. Mr. Kim Wade is I still don't know if he's officially running for mayor. But he has in fact. Where did I post it at? He has in fact got his first fundraiser together, and we're going to be doing it. It's a roast. It's the first annual celebrity roast, and we're going to be roasting Kim Wade. I see some of these other roasters. I'm going to be roasting them too. I'm going to be roasting them. We got the lead minority set aside, Socrates Garrett. He might not want to hear what I have to say. We got David Archie. We got Mr. Cliff Bowen. That's Kim's producer. We have myself. That's right. We got the one and only Kingfish is going to be one of the roasters. The Kingfish will be very good at this. We have Ann Pruitt. I'm not familiar with Ann. We have Malcolm Johnson. Ooh-wee. Well, if this has been 3 or 4 years ago, me and Malcolm would have just been fighting. I like Malcolm now. We got Matt Bishop, the fellow that comes on before me here with the full story. And we've got Jerry Ricardo. We also have Sean Yurtkaran. And get this. Who's the Thing John is going to be there. I'm not seeing that on the flyer that I've got right here, but I know I saw it on a flyer the other day. So I'm running with it. Tickets are $25. Don't complain about that. That is not expensive. We've got to save Jackson. Saving Jackson ain't cheap. This is a fundraiser. Now, of course, don't worry. It's not in Jackson, so you'll be safe. Everybody's going to be safe. It's over in God's country. It's in my backyard over in Rankin County. It's at, where is this place called? I haven't vetted this information. Give me a second. It's tickets can be purchased. Where's it at? Okay, yeah, here it is. The Village. I think that's a new event center. You can get tickets online or get more information at votekimwade.com. It's Thursday, December 12th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So all of us old suckers can be back home and in bed early and get up and come do this radio show the next day. So, what day of the week? It's a Thursday. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Come out, meet all of us. See Kim get roasted. See Kim do some roasting. If I guess everybody got to be careful what they say to Kim because nobody can dish it better than Kim Wade. Let's just hope he can take it too. Go, ooh-wee. Sean Yurtkaran has been practicing his roast for about a month already. So that should be good. And there's going to be a special surprise, a special secret roaster. I'm not sure whom that is, but hey, it'll be fun. You know it's going to be fun, if nothing else. $25. I'm assuming that includes some food and, some snacks and stuff. Maybe there'll be an open bar. I don't know. $25 ain't going to be an open bar, but maybe there'll be a bar. I don't know. We'll get more details together. But hey, it's only 10 days away and 9 days away. The roast of Kim Wade. Man, that's going to be a good time. Well, look, man, this phone line ain't ringing. Ain't nobody out there in radio land ready to trash somebody. Talk a little trash this morning on the Trash Talk Tuesday. The Mazda Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. I guess I'll get it started here on a little Trash Talk Tuesday. We'll talk about Jackson, shall we? We'll talk about Jackson. And in hour 2, I want to have a serious conversation about something. I don't want to do it while you got your kids in the car. But if you follow me on social media, I had a really controversial post about a fella that laid down in the middle of Highway 49 and intentionally ended his life by getting ran over by a car. I had a less than popular opinion because my opinion is what I consider the truth. And I don't handle every situation with kid gloves like so many others do. And I want to bring that conversation to radio. And we get some people fired up y'all may be trash talking me before the end of the show, but we're going to save that for hour 2 because it's a rather sensitive topic that I don't think we should be having with all your younger kids in the car. So I'm going to be respectful to the parents this morning. But it looks like we've got our first participant in Trash Talk Tuesday here. Let's go to the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, good morning. You ready to trash something?
Yeah, Clay, what's up? It's Joe. Let's
hey, brother.
Start with the wonderful mayor of Jackson. I hadn't heard any updates on that lately, so thought it'd be a good one to start with.
Well, so old Chuckway, whatever he's calling himself today, is pushing. They've got an extension on the trial date. I don't know what it's been pushed back to. I honestly, I've got to check out just a little bit on it because we're just in a kind of a lull right now with it all. And here's what I said yesterday on the show. Here's what I would like to see happen. I would like to see him. Well, I want Kim Wade to win, but I'm just saying, if Kim Wade don't win, the dream scenario and the most embarrassing outcome for Chokwe and Jackson and the Free the Land movement as a whole would be for Chokwe to win and then get found guilty while he's mayor and have to step down and go straight from City Hall to a federal prison. I think that would be a great outcome.
Agreed. That would be the next best scenario if Kim doesn't get elected.
Yeah. I mean, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a win-win.
That's right. Can't go wrong. All right, man. We'll holler at you.
Hi, Joe. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I mean, look, a boy can dream, can't he? A boy can dream. Let's check out the Guns and Gear text line here real quick. Somebody is speculating that the secret roaster could, in fact, be Snowball. If y'all listen to the Kim Wade show, that's relevant. And who doesn't listen to the Kim Wade? If you listen to the Clay Edwards show, I know you listen to the Kim Wade show. If you aren't familiar, Kim Wade is our resident angry black Republican. He's the godfather of conservative talk radio in central Mississippi. He is my mentor, my friend, somebody I've known for 25 years. He's helped me out more than once in my life, helped me get into the nightclub business. That is no joke. If there had been a Kim Wade extending an olive branch and an opportunity to me back in around 1999, there would be no. Of course, Chip Matthews gets a lot of credit for that too, or blame. But definitely, if it wasn't for Kim Wade giving me an opportunity to come in and run a college night at his place, Jazzy's downtown, I would have never had the opportunity to open up Crazy 8 and some of the other things that happened. So, and then fast forward 23, 24 years later, if it wasn't for Kim Wade, I don't know that I would have been given the opportunity for this show to be 5 days a week. He stepped up and spoke for me and told Matt, the owner of the station, and to quote Kim, that I think he's got the chops to do it. And Matt gave me the opportunity, I believe, based on Kim's good word. So I am very loyal to Kim Wade. And you should be listening to Kim Wade. If you're not, 4 to 6 p.m. right here daily. I do upload Kim's podcast every day. Kim wasn't podcasting, so I thought it was my way of saying thank you. So we upload Kim's podcast every day. I've got to get a new podcast cover photo done, so it'll go to Apple Podcast. But it goes to Podbean, Spotify, and so we're efforting some other stuff. Maybe I can get Kim maybe we can cut these cameras on and start live streaming Kim. Kim ain't going to last on Facebook or YouTube, but maybe we can get him on Rumble and X. Well, we'll effort that. Let's check out some of your comments real quick here on the comment section. Honest Liar on X is asking, will the roast be streamed? I don't think so. We really need people to come out and pay to participate in this thing. I'm sure maybe we can film it and get some clips up after it. I think that would be a possibility, but I do not believe it will be live streamed. At least I have not been told one way or another. Let's take one more call here before we go to our break. You know something bad's coming in when it says private on the caller ID. Could Clay Edwards be getting roasted this morning? Let's go to the Mazda Jackson phone line.
You're a racist motherfucker.
Yep, Clay Edwards was getting roasted there. So appreciate you listening. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on WYAB. All I heard was, use a racist mother. I'm like, beep. Abort. I think that was that crazy gay guy that I had to file charges on, that stalker. I saw he was in jail the other day for domestic violence. So I love my angry black listeners. I do. Y'all have made me a quasi-wealthy individual through your hate. I don't actually have to get up and go do a real job every day. Not wealthy, but, my bills are paid, and I work about 3 hours a day. Shout out to the anger addicts out there. Couldn't do it without y'all. Good stuff. Yeah, I didn't even have to, Joe, I didn't even have to hit the dump button on that one. That was just pulling the knob right back down. I heard he was talking to himself. When we went to him, I heard, "You racist mother," just pulled it right back down. Didn't even have to hit the dump button. So that guy probably lives in a cuddle sack. He lives in a cuddle sack, all right. Sack of these nuts. Let's see here. Said it sounded like Purnell from the WLBT Facebook page. Yeah. That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Just imagine the audacity that it takes to call a radio, to listen to something you hate, right? Like, I don't listen to, I'm not going to listen to stuff I hate in the morning times. I'm not going to wake up and think, let me listen to that guy that I hate. I mean, if they all really think I'm a racist, why don't they listen to me? They're mad. They're mad because I was once invited to the barbecue. Hell, I was the barbecue. And I know that this nonsense they spew about everything not being their fault is in fact their fault. And they're mad that I know the secrets. I'm not some broken white liberal that has sympathy and empathy for these people anymore. Well, I was never a white liberal. Anyway, so they can't stand they can't beat empathy into me for their BS. I'm not playing along with y'all anymore. I told y'all the other day, on Thanksgiving Eve, we done it your way for 40 years. Kim Wade kind of brought this up last year. He said, this civil rights era black nonsense. He said, we've been doing it y'all's way for 40 years, 50 years now. I say 40 because I've been alive for 47. Y'all's way don't work. That black post-civil rights era, angry black Democrat way of doing things, it don't work. It don't get anything done. So, and they're just mad that we don't go along to get along anymore. And they're calling it out. So, I just got a text from a buddy of mine. Shout out to Marvell. He said, I just got back in town. My screen went black on me. He said, just got back in town, took a break, jumped in my truck. First thing I heard was, "You a racist mother F." He said, thought I'd give you a shout. I love it. All right, we got to take a quick moment of silence. For the commercial. Welcome back in. I do apologize for talking over the intro there. I was running my mouth on the online stuff and thought I stopped quick enough. Well, that was an entertaining ending to that last segment right there. Again, it's Trash Talk Tuesday here on the Clay Edwards Show. Look, I don't mind y'all calling in and trashing me. Just try to do it without cussing. This is a radio show as well as an online experience, so we do have a little bit of censorship stuff we have to abide by, decency laws, FCC regulations. I don't mind. I'm grown up. I can hear cuss words. I've been known to use them a time or two, but I just ask that you not cuss. You can come on here and bash me all you want. I mean, I'm gonna give it back. I'm not gonna just sit here and be a punching bag. I punch back. But welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. It is a Trash Talk Tuesday. Anything you want to trash, phone line's wide open. I'd rather you do it by phone. It just means more when you hear the anger in somebody's voice. 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. We are, of course, streaming in video, 4K, on Save JXN, at Rumble, X, YouTube, and Facebook. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. Miss Katie Stonington hit me up last night. Let me know. It is already that time of the month again. They're going to be back up here next Friday, the 13th. Let me pull my text up here real quick just so I get the exact thing right here. So, yep, this is Katie Stonington from Stonington Farm Beef. We're going to be back in Jackson area, Florence, Brandon, Ridgeland on Friday, December 13th. We got a Friday the 13th coming up. That sounds like a good time for us to do a faux Friday lunch, doesn't it? I think so. Look, there's a chuck roaster on special this month for $8.75 a pound. The mini cow is a great option as well. 10 pounds of ground beef, 10 pounds of roast, and 5 pounds of steak, all 10% off list price. Special orders for Christmas, such as prime rib, a whole tenderloin, must be ordered by Tuesday morning. That's next Tuesday. We also have Stonington Farm beef gift certificates available. Guys, that's a great option. And look, if you're new here, Stonington Farm beef is locally sourced down on the coast in Mississippi. Perkinston, Mississippi is 100% grass-fed. And here's the key. It's also 100% grass-finished. mRNA-free, antibiotic-free, steroid-free, Mississippi-raised beef. Check them out at StoningtonFarm.com. That's Stonington with 2 N's. Experience the grass-fed difference. It's just about all I keep in my freezer. I love their ground beef. All right, man. Shout out to a couple first-time listeners this morning. We got Johnny Jennings on, looks like he's watching on Facebook. And we got shout out to my old buddy Corey Waltman watching there on Facebook this morning. Shout out to both those guys, new listeners. Appreciate you guys. The show's constantly growing. Always appreciate everybody jumping on board. This is the crazy train of morning talk radio here in central Mississippi. And, hey, worldwide with the internet. If you're watching online, you see me wearing my FAFO hoodie this morning. It's the G.I. Joe logo version of the FAFO. That's the F Around and Find Out logo that's been so popular with this show. They are available on my website today at buyfafo.com. That's buyfafo.com. We, of course, have the T-shirts available that match it, and we have the all-new Mississippi Blackout Tag edition of the FAFO logo. And, man, I tell you what, I was trying to come up with a second logo that I thought would, if it could just live up to some of the hype. Throw a picture of it up there for our online listeners to see. If it could just live up to some of the success that the original shirt, like the one I'm wearing, we'd be doing great. And I don't want to say it's exceeded expectations, but it has definitely been extremely popular. I will be set up this Saturday and Sunday, Friday afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, basically the whole weekend at Brandon on Ice out there in at the soccer fields there behind Rogers Dabs on Highway 80 in Brandon. They're having a big Christmas market. I'm going to be set up. My girlfriend's going to be set up beside me. She's doing those tinsels in girls' hair. And I've got my first market I'm going to set up. I got a tent, got a big banner, got my table, got everything. We may even do some live podcasting or record some podcasting there on site. But I'm going to be selling shirts and hoodies. And we'll have stickers. Stickers are always going to be free when you buy a shirt. Maybe I'll just give them away free at the thing, too. If anybody wants a sticker, okay, we'll do free stickers. But swing by and see me. And do a little ice skate and have some family fun at Brandon on Ice. Like I said, a big Christmas market they're doing this weekend. Weather's going to be nice. Might be a little chilly, but no rain in the forecast. So it's going to be a good time. I'll be out there, like I said, selling all my FAFO stuff, maybe even doing some live streaming, live remote, live broadcast type stuff if I got enough power and all that stuff to do it. All right. Let's see here. Oh, we got a phone call coming in. I was just about to get to a little bit of the show prep I did, but let's take a call on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Looks like we got somebody calling from Nashville, Tennessee, according to the prefix on their caller ID. Hey, you're on there.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, good times.
Man, Trash Talk Tuesday, so I'm with you on this. I live in downtown Jackson. I know I have the Nashville number. It's your local buddy from Steve's.
Hey, what's up?
Man, chilling. So, check it out. Downtown Jackson, I almost got ran over the other day, and then I got yelled at by that driver telling me I need to use crosswalks. I looked around and said, this is still downtown Jackson. We don't use crosswalks. Also, there are no crosswalks. Maybe you should tune in and get a little legal advice from whoever it is that you speak to, and maybe just try not to run people over.
Yeah, they replaced all the crosswalks with roundabouts, didn't they? Well, at least on Capitol Street.
Yeah, so we're over by the post office in the Dickies building, and just crossing the street from one side to the other. Literally, almost got ran over, and the lady had the audacity to roll her window down with her bumping speakers and continue to yell at us and be like, "Get the fuck, or get out of the road!" Excuse my language. I was like, "What are we doing here? There are no crosswalks. What are we doing?" It's just. I hear you talk about the people that drive in downtown Jackson damn near daily. It's just crazy, man. So if you're out there listening, pay attention to where you're going and watch out for pedestrians.
Hey, look, man, I got the horn honked at me one time for sitting at a red light that was red.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know where all these folks in Jackson are in such a rush to get to, but they're never on time, and most of them don't work.
I've got a real good opinion about that, Clay.
Oh, I do too. I mean, trust me, I do too.
We'll keep that all fair.
Well, yeah.
Here's the other thing. When are we going to start holding people accountable for these downtown parking meters and the absurdity that the people that go around ticketing people? If people aren't even paying the tickets, how are we paying the downtown people to give the tickets? It just doesn't make sense.
I'm part of the third-party people that fucking should get indicted.
The radio.
All right, hey, look, I'm gonna give y'all my thoughts on the parking tickets off the phone. Y'all listen.
Sounds good. Have a great day.
Y'all too.
Cheers.
Downtown parking tickets. These downtown parking meters have gotten out of hand. I think they're a terrible idea. David Archie and them are actually fighting these things, but that is the current parking meter debacle aside. We were having lunch yesterday downtown at somewhere you don't have to. Martin's our sponsor, I can say it. We were down kind of an impromptu lunch yesterday, unplanned lunch, and we got talking about the parking meters, and we just got talking about downtown and the demise of downtown as a whole, and how so many of the law firms have moved and everything. And I said, man, it goes back to the parking meters is one of the multitude of things. When I had my restaurant downtown and my club and all that, one of the biggest problems we had was the parking witches. The two little old black ladies that rode around in that little Vespa scooter golf cart looking thing. And they weren't just giving tickets. They would use chalk and mark your tire while you still had time left on the meter. Then because it was like 1 hour parking or 1 hour parking, they would give you a ticket for feeding the meter. Because they were trying to force you into using the parking garage, which I think that's a violation of my civil rights. I shouldn't be forced to use the city-owned parking garage. If I get lucky enough to find a parking place, I should be allowed to feed that meter for as long as I dang well please. Now, I don't know how it's like. I don't know what it's like down there now with this new setup they have, but I know it's being managed by some out-of-state company or something like that. It's a debacle. Nobody's paying their tickets. Nobody's being arrested for not paying their tickets. It's a crap show to say the least. Let's take a break. Again, the Mazda Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. Please remember that we are on radio with the language. Other than that, wide open. It's a Trash Talk Tuesday. We'll be right back on WYAB. All right. Yeah, guys. I love all y'all. I love the phone calls. We got to watch the language. Got to watch the language. They're going to snatch me up out of here. Let's see here. Let's look at the comments real quick. Cal says I need to open another one. I'm never opening another bar again in my life. I do appreciate that people think I should, though. I do appreciate that. Tracy says, I'll be there, Clay. Would love to meet you. I'm going to buy my shirt. I know my girlfriend's going to buy one for my birthday. Yeah, man. Get them. Get them. And we got people. I think it's great. I kind of jokingly have referred to these FAFO shirts and hoodies as like the Mississippi MAGA. I mean, you want to trigger one of these idiots and get them all upset. So you got to remember, they're the minority in real life. Like we are the majority, and I'm not talking about race here. I'm talking about common sense, people that want to do right, and people who are tired of these idiots and their excuses. These oppression Olympic participants. They like to blame all their failures on everybody else. They're the extreme minority, believe it or not. They just happen to be the loudest person. You ever gone into like a Applebee's in Jackson when they have Dollaritas? You know how loud it gets in there? But it's usually just a table of 3 or 4 ladies just trying to talk over each other. They're the minority, but they just happen to be the loudest person in the room. That's all it is. These idiots are just the loudest person in the room, but they're the extreme minority. And we got to start shouting them back down. And a great way to do it is by wearing one of these FAFO shirts with my name on it because they hate me so much. And it's like a big middle finger to all of them, while supporting your boy. Third World Order says, ultra dark, dirty South MAGA. I love that. I'm going to take a picture of that and save it, and I'm going to steal that and use it later myself. Thank you for that. That may go on a shirt. That might just make it on a shirt. David texted in on the Guns of Gear text line and said that is actually vandalism, than marking your tires. Oh, yeah. Circling back to that. Let me make sure I'm not running up against the break. 100. So that was just the city of Jackson. I've always said it. If you're in business in the city of Jackson, you're in business against the city of Jackson. They are the least business-friendly city that I've ever seen in my life. They're constantly looking for ways to run people away from coming to downtown Jackson, whether it's the business owners or if it's the consumers, the customers that want to come down there and spend money. The city of Jackson do all they can to be a pain in your ass and make you not want to come. It's always been like that. So when Chokwe got in and then when COVID hit, it was just this perfect storm. And all these law firms said, hell with this. We're out. And they all went out there to Madison, Colony Park, Highland Colony, whatever it's called. Why would you leave there to come back to Jackson now? I mean, you've got all the entertainment, you've got all the restaurants, you've got plenty of parking. All right, we're getting ready to come back from the break. Moment of silence. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by friends at El Portillo Mexican Restaurant. We went by El Portillo last night. Had about an hour to burn. So we went by the El Portillo there in Cross Gates. Grabbed a nice big old grande size draft beer. Ate some chips and salsa. Got a little queso. Just hung out for a minute just to visit. Man, it's so good. I'm glad they're a partner of the show, but it's been a net loss for me because I'm just eating there more now. So any money that we're making from the advertising, I'm spending right back in there. So it's been a win-win for them and for my constant battle with my diet. But look, man, it's so good. Swing by there. Try the happy hour specials. Try the fajitas. They're my favorite. But they do have the taco al carbone. Man, that has been nice. That's been real good. I can't begin to explain it to you, but it's tacos jazzed up. And of course, they have the Berea tacos. They're so good. They're on the menu now. I've got the chimichanga a couple times here recently. Just the chicken fajita chimichanga. Check them out. They got lunch specials. They got great options for dinner. They have karaoke a couple nights a week. Of course, they got 2 great locations to serve you right there on Highway 80 in Crossgates, or right in front of the Crossgates neighborhood. And, of course, at Dogwood and Flowwood right there on 25. That's El Portillo Mexican Restaurant and Cantina. And like I said, I think I'm feeling pretty good about the next FAFO Friday lunch. I think we're going to do it next Friday the 13th. And I'm thinking El Portillo. I will let you guys decide if we do it in Flowwood or Brandon. The bar area is much bigger in Flowwood, so maybe that works better for us. But Brandon works better for me because it's 5 seconds from my house. But I'm flexible. I'm flexible. All right, let's see here. Mazda Jackson phone line is Trash Talk Tuesday, 601-879-0002. You got something you want to trash on? Got somebody you want to trash on? Call in. It's time. Let them know about it. Just keep their last names out of it. And we can spill the tea here this morning. Let's see here. Greg texts in and says, not to mention the freaking potholes. Taking the wife's car this morning for an alignment and to access any other damage that occurred last night. She was shocked the airbag did not deploy. Okay, so Greg's wife hit a pothole so hard last night that he's having to go get it checked out this morning. I did that one time. I had a pothole rattle my cage. I had my lowered 2007 Silverado. It was slammed. I had some 24-inch steel wheels on it. I mean, not aluminum, but steel. Man, it broke one of those. Of course, you can't just replace those. You can never find. When you buy a used set of rims, good luck finding a replacement wheel. I had to buy 4 new wheels. I mean, it hit me harder than I've ever been punched in my life. Let's take a call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, brother, you on there?
What? Did somebody steal them from you or something?
No, you talking about the rims?
Yeah.
No, dude, talking about hit a pothole so hard it broke one of them. And
I'll make this real quick. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and you know him. He lives down in Gulf Shores. Me and him were talking last night about the good old days in Jackson. And he brought up something to me. I want you to tell me why this is. A lot of companies, when they left Jackson, if somebody was in Memphis or Nashville or Birmingham, they would relocate to a different part of town when it wasn't so good. When things left Jackson, they left the area altogether. Why do you think that was?
I don't know. Because money didn't feel safe.
I mean, they didn't go to Rankin County, Madison County. They would just leave altogether, but just get out of the area altogether. That's really uncommon because most businesses relocate in a different part of town. But again, they just leave the whole area. But I'll let you go. Hey, but I'm going to tell you what Jackson really needs, Clay, more than anything, they need Kim Wade.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, you ought to put that on a T-shirt. Have a good day, Clay.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, it's rather phenomenal if you think about the volume in which everything has left Jackson. Honest Liar in the comments says that the comments are being censored. He's on X, so I don't know. He says apparently you cannot use the words LGBTQ, black, and victim all in the same sentence. Interesting. Nothing surprises me anymore when it comes to online censorship. Nothing surprises me anymore. Good morning to my buddy Jamie Ladd. Jamie, how you doing, brother? Watching us on Facebook. Glad we got Facebook working this morning. Like I said yesterday, I looked back after the show was over and realized we had not been streaming there. All right, let's see here. Read some more of your texts on the Guns of Gear text line. I'm saving the big topic of the day for the top of hour 2. We're going to talk about the fella that threw himself or went and sat down in the middle of Highway 49 and chose to let someone assist him in ending his life. An unwilling participant assist him in ending his life. I got some strong opinions on that. And, of course, all the internet do-gooders have to run in and tell me I'm the bad person because because I don't just fall right in line, with just an outpouring of sympathy for the guy who chose to go sit in the middle of the road and get ran over. Sorry, not sorry. We're gonna take a deep dive into that in hour two, top of hour two. It is a Trash Talk Tuesday. The phone line 601-879-0002. Tim told me I did not quite catch the dump button in time. Yeah, man, it happens. It happens. Let's see here. Unknown texter says, Clay, I'll take you a new headshot photo for your podcast. All right, thank you. We were talking about something during the break. We were talking about it online. I want to circle back to that real quick. We were talking about downtown Jackson, and they had brought up the tickets, the parking tickets, and the demise of downtown Jackson. And I went back and I told a story about, well, not so much a story as much as it is just an overall opinion. When I had the nightclub downtown, when I had the restaurant downtown, the nightclub, it was never a problem, because they don't give parking tickets after 5 o'clock. But during the daytime, the city would try to force you to use the parking garage. We were on the corner of Capitol and Ferris, right across from that big parking garage by the Federal Building. The city would try to force you to use the parking garage by not allowing you to park at a meter for more than an hour. So they would mark your ticket with chalk, and to see mark your tire with chalk, and to see if it had moved. And they don't want you feeding the meter. Well, why does it matter if I feed the meter? Well, if I put $1 worth of quarters in this parking meter for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 quarters every hour, whatever it costs to do it at the time, what's the difference in me doing it and another car doing it? You're still getting your money the same either way. But they try to force you into the parking garage where they can get $4, $5, $7, $8, $9, $10 or whatever it was to park there for a day. That ought to be illegal. You should not be able to force people to use your parking garage. Parking garages ain't convenient. You got to park 4 or 5 stories up. You got to walk. A lot of times you're carrying a bunch of stuff, especially if you're a business owner down there. It's a crock of crap. Let's take a call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Hey, brother. Good morning. This is Trampus Car.
Hey,
I just want to complain a little bit about what are we going to talk about? Michael Guest covering up for his son who got charged with a felony for throwing a chair off the top of a bar in downtown Nashville, and then a couple of days later, all the charges were dropped and everything else was gone. It sounds to me like we got another little, Hunter Biden, and his daddy's out here, standing in downtown Jackson, waving at everybody, and sitting in Brandon trying to get everybody to vote for him and everything else, and he's just covering up for his son. It sounds like a piece of crap to me.
Did those charges get dropped?
Well, there was to my understanding, there was a little group text going on with all the sororities, girls, and fraternity boys, around there, and that was the talk that he was going to make it go away, within less than 48 hours. And the last I heard, his son was walking around. He was at the party the next night bragging about, I'm not worried about it. Dad's going to make this go away.
Well, Morgan Wallen did the same thing, and they're trying to charge him with a felony.
That's what I'm saying. The boy was charged with a felony, but you didn't hear anything about it on any of the local any of the local news stations anywhere else. And boy's still walking around, nothing's going on, nothing's being said. And he's standing out there. Once again, in downtown Brandon, waving at everybody like he's just one of us. And it actually makes me sick. I can't stand Michael Guest.
I feel you, brother. How you been?
Man, but trying to make a living, man. You know how it goes. So I appreciate your time, brother. You have a good morning.
Hey,
man.
Never hesitate to call back. I love it, brother. Love the energy.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah, I tell you, is there a least popular Republican politician in Mississippi than Michael Guest at times? He is a very polarizing individual. In Brandon, there's a big conglomerate of Brandonians that love him, and they run out to the fish fries, and they do all that stuff. And he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I'll be the first to tell you he's a nice guy. I just do not like his policies. He has not voted in ways consistently that I think represent MAGA and true American values. I think the ethics committee stuff was a crap. All what they did to Matt Gaetz and all that. Let's try to take one more call real quick. Hey, we're butting up against the break. You got about 30, 45 seconds.
Hello?
Hey, you there?
Yes.
Hey, you got about 30, 45 seconds.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Maybe you want to... Let's take a break real quick. Come back, and if the caller's still on hold, we'll get back to the caller. We'll be right back. All right, online audience, I will be right back. Y'all don't go anywhere. Right to hell with it. I'll wait to the next break. The next break's 7 minutes. I got to take a pee break at some point. Let's check out some of your comments here. Roger says, it's literally a toss-up between Michael Guest and Roger Wicker. Guest is the golden child of Rankin County. And one of the greatest DAs the county's ever had, the Tri-County area's ever had, did such a good job. Man. And I say Brittany says, I agree with you 100% on that topic. Like you said, sorry, not sorry. Yeah, talking about the suicide thing. We're going to get into that. I mean, I kicked a hornet's nest with that. And I'm not ready to let it go. It's like we have gotten to this point in society, and I really don't even want to waste any of my energy talking about it before because I've got a lot of thoughts on it, but I will say this. We've reached this point in society where we're not allowed. It's like if somebody kills himself, you're not allowed to criticize it on any level, regardless of how they did it, regardless of the wake of damage they left. It's like if somebody chose to kill themselves, you're supposed to just go into immediate sympathy mode and ignore any of the damage done by it. And if you say anything bad, you're worse than anything they did. And I ain't buying into that. I ain't buying into that. All right. So I'm just we're going to take a big deep dive into this suicide conversation when we get back from the top of the hour break, because I'm fired up about it. And I just don't know how we got to this point in society where we're not allowed to criticize somebody for doing that. So, Roger, let me do this first. Third World Order says the reason there's expectation not to say anything about it isn't about the person. It's just out of respect for their folks. Man, look, when somebody chooses to do it themselves, I understand. I mean, I don't understand, but I get it. You know, if somebody decides to go handle their business themselves, and they shoot themselves or they OD, whatever. It's bad. You still leave somebody permanently mentally screwed up that discovers the body. But what my rant's going to focus on is when they decide to go jump in front of a car, or they somehow get their death caused by somebody else. It's not off limits then, because now they've involved innocent people. We're getting ready to come back from break. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Well, we lost our caller there. I tried to get him in before the break, but I think he thought I meant hang on for 30 or 45 seconds. Caller, you're welcome to call back at the top of the next hour. We'll be back at 8:07 a.m. And look, when we come back, we're getting into a very sensitive topic about suicide and how we've reached a point in society where it's become taboo to even talk about the person after they do it. regardless of the amount of damage they leave in their wake, or other people that unwilling participants they involve in their death wish. And I've got an opinion on it that apparently is not extremely popular. There are a few other people that agree with me, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to open up the phone lines, and we're going to have we call this reality radio. And we're going to have a very real conversation that a lot of people apparently don't want to have. Those are the conversations I run straight into like a fireman running into a building on fire. We'll be right back. All right, guys, y'all give me about 2 or 3 minutes. I got to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll dive into some comments and a few other things. Roger, I see your comment about Michael Guest. I want to get to that too. I know you've told me that story before. And we'll peel that onion back a little bit before we come back from the break. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Y'all don't go anywhere. Hit like, hit share. Please send it to a friend wherever you're watching it at. Tag a friend. We're about to get, to quote Pantera, it's about to get effing hostile in here. We'll be right back. Fun. I don't want her business. If she gets in trouble, I don't want her business sprawled out there, because people don't like me. I didn't talk about Michael Guest's son stuff because it wasn't necessarily relevant to anything we do here. Now, if he got him off of it because of him being Michael Guest, I have a problem with that. But I'm not sure that he got off of it. I haven't checked. So, but that's why I didn't talk about, Michael Guest's son getting arrested up there in Nashville, throwing that chair off the top of the bar. But, Morgan Wallen called a felony, and they're trying to put him in jail over it. Doing the same thing. What up, James Hannah from Sebastopol? Your order will be on the way today, my friend. All right, we got to take a quick moment of silence. We're coming back from the break. I don't like talking over the intro music. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. I am live here on 103.9 FM WYAB, as well as the TuneIn app. Alexa, just search WYAB. If you miss any of it, you want to listen to just the audio version only, we do clip all the commercials out of it, and it takes the 2-hour show and cuts it down to about an hour and 20 minutes. That's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. So does big numbers over there. So a lot of people take advantage of that. They don't have a chance to get up and listen in the mornings per se. Also, we do stream live in 4K video on the Save JXN YouTube, Facebook, X, and Rumble. If it's nowhere else, it's streaming on X and YouTube every day. I have zero problems with those two platforms, but sometimes Facebook and Rumble, for whatever reason, they didn't send it over there. But YouTube and X, we have zero issues with. So try to consume it on one of those platforms there. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Men's Health of Mississippi. Guys, take advantage of those complimentary testosterone treatments. Not treatments, I'm sorry. Testosterone screenings to eventually get testosterone therapy treatment if you need it. By texting my name, 601. You think I would know this number by heart by now. 601-327-8550. 601-327-8550. Text Clay and get you a free testosterone screening from Men's Health of Mississippi today. Guys, if you're suffering from fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, or sleep disturbances, you, in fact, could be suffering from low testosterone. One last thing. They are now offering the compounded semaglutide that is generic Ozempic. You're looking to get a head start on your New Year's New You resolution. Text weight loss to that same number. Women, you can do this too. The testosterone screenings are just for men. This is for women also. This is in their New Care clinic, which is under the same roof, same people. They just kind of have it split up a little bit. Text weight loss to 601-327-8550, and they'll get you in there for an appointment and get you hooked up with the generic Ozempic. And, man, you want to talk about saving a bunch of money? That generic is so much more affordable than the name brand stuff. And also the money you're going to save not eating, you're going to look great, feel great, a little diabetes prevention. Anyway, that's Men's Health of Mississippi and New Care for your testosterone and generic Ozempic. All right, let's jump into it. The Mazda Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. It's a Trash Talk Tuesday here on the Clay Edwards Show. I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the live show or just online, but somebody asked me. I am going to be at the Brandon Christmas Market this weekend. That's the one that's going on at the Brandon on Ice ordeal. Looks like real fun over there, too. They got the Molly Ringwalds coming up. They got Cowboy Mouth coming up, playing out there. Go check out Brandon on Ice and look at the entertainment schedule. But I'll be at the market selling with a FAFO booth set up, Big Clay Edwards Show booth set up. We'll be selling shirts, hoodies. No telling what else we'll be doing. I don't know what all what all I'm committing myself to, but we'll be out there all weekend having a good time. Friday, Saturday, and I'll be out there Sunday for a little while, and then Saturday, I don't know. Anyway, this weekend, come check it out. I'm going to read up a few comments real quick, and then I want to shift gears and get into this conversation about. I'll tell you what, let's just get into it. We'll come back to the other stuff. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. I'll see if I can find the story real quick on WLBT because I want to have all the context. Because as you guys know, context absolutely matters. Context absolutely matters on this show. And that's why we have a problem with people who think things are racist or things are insensitive or all this other stuff because they choose not to hear the full context of things. So there was a tragic, what WLBT and the police are calling a tragic accident. I thought it was in Rankin County. It was actually down in McGee, so if I clean that error up, happened in Simpson County on Highway 49. It says a Florence man sitting in the road, killed by vehicle in McGee. Should we just let's run the story real quick. Let's let WLBT set this up real quick just to see what they got to say, and then I will give I'm going to unpack it and give all my opinion on the whole thing. Some of y'all are not going to like it. Here we go.
That was hit and killed on Friday night. He's been identified as 36-year-old Douglas Lee Huffman of Florence. Investigators say it happened on Highway 49 south near the VFW post. Dispatch in Simpson County received a call about a person walking in the middle of the highway. And while officers were on the way to investigate, they were told Huffman sat down in the middle of the lane and was struck by a vehicle. The driver believed he had struck a deer and stopped his car farther down the highway. Chief Dennis Borges says the driver was also hurt and taken to the hospital, and officials believe no foul play is suspected.
All right, so that's the WLBT story right there. I don't have to read it to you. I want to tell one of the reasons I'm so fired up about this. I want to tell a little backstory here. It was a couple months ago. I want to say back in early July or late July. Yeah, it was a latter half of July. A young kid from Scott County was driving down, and I met the kid a couple times through some other young guys that I know. Really nice kid. I'm not going to put his name out there or anything like that, but he was driving down Lakeland Drive, Highway 25 at Grants Ferry, heading east. And some idiot with a death wish, I don't know if he was intentionally trying to get ran over or I don't know if he woke up that morning and decided he was going to commit suicide. But we're about to talk about suicide. So if this is a sensitive topic you don't want to hear, recommend changing the channel. I appreciate you. We'll see you back tomorrow. this guy decides to lay down in the middle of the road. And I don't know if they're playing like that game where you lay under a. I've seen them do this in movies. God knows I would never do nothing this stupid. I've done my share of stupid stuff, and this is hold my beer levels of stupid. A dude decides to lay down in the middle of the road at nighttime, like they do with the trains, and see if the cars can drive over you without getting hit. I mean, just insanity. I mean, you're trying to get killed, whether you do or not, whatever. But so this kid hits this guy and kills him. He doesn't know he ran over him. His story is he didn't know he hit anything. I can believe that. I mean, my girlfriend ran over a tree the other day, right in front of me. They were trimming some trees out on Rice Road. Had a big limb out in the middle of the road. And she ran right over it and did not stop. And now this afternoon, I'm going to be pulling a tree out from under, I'm going to go get the remnants of a tree taken out from under her car. My point being, it's easy to run over stuff and not pay it a whole lot of attention. I think this guy had a jacked up truck a little bit, big tires and all that. It ain't like running over something in a car. Anyway, runs over the guy, kills him, doesn't stop. This guy's laying in the middle of the road. I think that they got it on traffic cam. That's how they know what he was driving and everything. They know what this guy did. The young kid, his story is he didn't know he ran over him. Whether you believe that or not, I don't really care. I don't care if he didn't stop. I don't think he should be going to jail for it on any level. Caught leaving the scene of an accident, whatever. I know the assumption automatically is must have been drunk and didn't want to stop. I'm going to say something here that's really going to rub a lot of y'all the wrong way. Even if he was drunk, I don't think it's his fault. Even if he's drunk, I don't think it's his fault. If he's driving down the road, keeping it between both lanes, and I'm not encouraging drinking and driving. Do not drink and drive. I'm just making a point here. And somebody decides to lay in the middle of the road and get run over, it ain't the driver's fault, drunk or sober. Just saying. I digress. I've been wanting to get that off my chest. So this kid's life is now most likely ruined. Probably going to catch a felony. Already had been charged with a felony, I'm sure. I mean, nobody's got more respect for the Rankin County DA's office than I do and Bubba Bramlett. And I don't know what why they've decided to pursue this like that. But whatever they have, this kid's life is ruined because, no point in getting to the legal side of it, because some a-hole decided to lay in the middle of the road and get himself killed. All right, so I've been a little fired up thinking about that when it happened, because I know I've met the kid before. Nice kid. I don't even want to say he made a mistake. I don't think he made a mistake. I think he was the unfortunate person that was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it could have been any of your kids. It could have been you. And I want to add, any of y'all that get in the comments or are thinking to yourself, well, Clay, you should have stopped. He effed around, found out. Keep that same energy if it was your kid and tell me how you would feel about it. 21, 22-year-old, 19-year-old, however young he was. Even if he did know he ran over something, scared to death, doesn't know what happened, goes home, freaks out. All right. Now let's fast forward to the deal that happened. I think it was Friday night in Simpson County. This guy's walking down the road. They're getting calls that they got a guy walking down the road. And then at this point, he decides to sit down in the middle of the road. He gets ran over, gets killed. And the headline is tragic accident. No, it's not. It was an intentional suicide. It was not an accident. The only part of it that was an accident is is for the poor soul that hit the guy. They became an unwilling accomplice in a suicide. So I call this out on social media. It's like, there's no accident about this. This is 100% on purpose. The only person I have any sympathy for in this particular situation is the driver of the vehicle. This guy decided to potentially ruin somebody else's life by shackling the guilt of that on them for the rest of their life. It ended in what I call the best case scenario, the best way it could, because you think about the other options, it could have been a lot worse. It could have absolutely been a lot worse. The driver of the vehicle, maybe a less experienced driver that saw something and freaks out and overreacts. Let's play two different scenarios out here. Both highly likely to happen. Somebody sees it, they swerve to the right. Freak out, flip, roll, hit a tree. Bing, bang, boom. Car explodes, they die, whatever. Tragic. The guy never gets hit. Sees what he's done, is like, oh, I'm up out of here. I'm up out of here. Then killed somebody. I'm up out of here. They'll never know it was me. Option 2. Person sees him, freaks out, swerves to the left. Crosses over the median. Hits another car head on. Both cars full of family. Kids. Mom, dad, granny. 7, 8 dead people. All trying to avoid this guy that decided to sit in the middle of the dang road. Both very plausible situations, outcomes, scenarios, however you want to word that. Did either one of those happen? No. Thank God. That's why I said it was the best case scenario. It was the best of a bad situation that the only person that got killed was the one who wanted to. That's selfish. I understand being at rock bottom. I understand wanting to take your life. I've been there. I have a 16, 17-year-old cousin last year, year and a half, 2 years ago. Killed himself. Very tragic situation over bullying, stuff like that. I get it. I'm very sensitive to it. Had a friend a couple of weeks ago, going through a lot of stuff, a very deep, dark place. Killed himself. I understand. I'm very sympathetic to that. That's not what we're talking about here. So you got to compartmentalize these things. I don't know where we got to this point in society where we're supposed to treat everybody that kills himself, regardless of how they chose to do it, as some kind of saint. Like anything, it doesn't matter how they did it, what they did. It's like once they did it, it's over. You're not allowed to talk about it anymore. Yes, you are. Yes, we are. When you chose to drag an innocent person into this, we're allowed to talk about it. It's no different than somebody who chooses to do suicide by cop. All right, guys, let's try to stay on topic if we call in. I do appreciate hearing from folks, though. The phone line is 601-879-0002. When we come back, we're going to unpack this a little bit more. I saw the phone line. I saw the text lines, the comments all lighten up. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Are we allowed to criticize this situation when they choose to bring somebody else into it? When they choose to involve a completely innocent individual to basically kill them because they don't want to do it themselves? I think it's absolutely fair game to talk about it. I know it's a tough conversation. We have a lot of tough conversations on this show. We have a lot of uncomfortable conversations. I have sympathy for the family. I have sympathy for, I get it. But, and it's a big but, you don't get to just write your ending when it involves other people and expect us to not talk about it. We'll be right back. Live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by 042 Wine and Spirits. Guys, it is Christmas season. I don't know if I told this story on the radio the other day. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and going to jump back into the serious topic of the morning. I love the Christmas boxes, the gift boxes that you get with, let's just say, like Crown Royal, for example, and they'll have the rocks glasses that come with it, like the box sets. You used to have to drive over to Delta, Louisiana, or at least that's where I did. The Chevron there at the Delta, Louisiana exit had the coolest Christmas boxes. And we'd go over there, me and my dad ride over there, and we'd get lottery tickets, and I would buy like a Jägermeister or whatever and get the shot glasses or Crown or whatever. Now I don't have to do that. A liquor store around here has finally stocked up on the Christmas box sets of all your favorite liquors. And 042 Wine and Spirits has got them. Don't have to get lottery tickets over there anymore either. That sometimes I wish you still did, because there's nothing I hate more than having to stand in line behind people to do their dang scratch-offs and pick their Powerball numbers in the mornings. But anyway, back to 042. Swing by there today, located Highway 80 in Brandon, Mississippi, right next to Sonny's Barbecue in the 042 Brandon. And stop by, see the guys, see Kevin and the team, let them get you hooked up. You got any questions, they can help you out. Need to know how to mix a drink, don't hesitate to ask. A lot of those folks have been bartenders on and off for a while, Kevin particularly. They can give you a great recipe. Like I said, I got one for a lemon drop martini a while back. It went over very well. So reach out to them, let them know what they can do for you. They got a great selection of wines. Of course, a huge selection of liquor. You want it, they got it. If they don't have it, they will just about get it for you, as long as they can get it here in the state of Mississippi. We asked for the Trump wine. They got that for us. They do have that available, by the way. So swing by, see them today. I think they may still have a couple bottles of their Four Roses private barrel selection. Swing by, check them out. That's 042 Wine and Spirits. All right, man. We got that off my chest. The phone call there at the end, I'm going to have a phone call conversation with him after this show, because there's no way he was listening to the show and called in to tell me that after that 15-minute rant about that previous topic. Anyway, let's get to some of y'all's chats and stuff on this. I got a text from a buddy of mine, Johnny. And I want to circle back Jen Psaki style to the comment about, and look, I'm not saying the kid that hit the guy in Flowood was drunk. I'm just making a scenario of, I think, why the cops why it's such a big deal to leave the scene of an accident, especially if you hit somebody, because there's usually that assumption that you were drunk. And I just think that even if the kid was, I don't think he should be responsible for anything else other than a DUI if they were able to prove he was drunk. If somebody lays in the middle of the road, play stupid games, get stupid prizes. But my buddy has said the same thing, because if he was drunk when he ran over the idiot, he is only guilty of drunk driving, in my opinion. He also says, I'm glad you have the cojones to express your opinion on this. I totally agree. Suicide is a terrible and selfish act, but involving an innocent person in it makes it a crime, in my opinion. I agree. I think that if you decide to commit suicide and you decide to do it by dragging some innocent person into it to do it for you, you should be charged with murder. Even if you're dead, you should be charged with a homicide. I know that's harsh, but I mean, you're potentially ruining somebody's life in multiple ways. This young kid in Flowood could end up in prison for leaving the scene of an accident. This person in Simpson County now has a screwed up vehicle, not to make things about money, but that's always part of it. You know, somebody loses their vehicle, they can lose their livelihood. Maybe they just had basic insurance, not full coverage, just liability insurance. Maybe they can't get their vehicle fixed. They lose their vehicle. They can lose their job. That compounds. I mean, how many people commit suicide because of financial problems? That compounds on top of the already, now they've killed somebody. You know, everybody ain't built the same. Some people might handle that very messed up. Creates a lot of stress on that person. Will this guy's family try to sue this person for running over the guy? I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that do. A lot of people that do. You run over somebody, it's always your fault. It don't matter if they jumped off the bridge in front of you. If your car is the one that hits them, your insurance always gets sued. Always. I mean, lady in Jackson, Dexter Wade's mama, trying to sue JPD or suing JPD for her son walking down the middle of the road and getting ran over. We could talk about the way they did or didn't get in touch with her, didn't try to get in touch with her, whatever. Wasn't against the law. They didn't break the law. I don't know. I've been on the unpopular side of that one too. I don't think they did anything wrong putting him in the pauper's grave. But again, just my opinion. I think we've reached a point in society where people's empathy and sympathy is running really, really low. Everybody's got their own problems, and a lot of them. With inflation, with everything going on in the world. It's like everybody's problems are compounded right now, and we all lack a little sympathy and empathy for other people. And I ain't got no problem with that, to be honest with you. I got my own things to deal with. I've only got so much in the tank I can give to other people. And I think a lot of other people are reaching that level too. That's why shows like this have gotten so popular. It's why people want to hear the truth about stuff. Because people have just gotten fed up with feeling like we always have to feel sorry for people. I feel more sorry for dogs I see on the internet than I do half the people out there with problems nowadays. At least the dogs didn't ask for it. The dog's problems aren't self-inflicted like most of humans' problems are. Getting really, really fed up. One of my cop friends texted in on the Guns and Gear text line. Had a good little, not a good story, terrible story, but it adds to my point. He said, I had a good friend who was a law enforcement officer that was involved in a suicide by a cop. He actually knew the guy he shot and killed. He was extremely messed up after that to the point that he had to resign. So, I have a hard time mustering up a lot of sympathy for people who decide to involve other people in their suicides. It just is what it is. Let's read a few comments here. I'm sure everybody agrees with me this morning. Sarcasm. Brittany says, the guy had been walking for a minute. She says, I live on Highway 28, and he was walking on 28 earlier that day. I saw him. He was acting kind of erratically then. Now, I don't know if the guy had drug history or anything. If I had to guess, I'd probably say yeah, but I don't know. I mean, just looking at his pictures, kind of has that vibe, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But drug use causes a lot of mental illnesses. See, here's another thing we've gotten into in this country. We like to say that mental illness and depression is causing drug use. But the real elephant in the room is drug use is causing mental illness. That's why I don't call addiction, this is really going to upset y'all this morning. That's why I don't call addiction a disease. If it is self-inflicted and you can hit the stop button at any time, it's not a disease. Tell that to people getting chemo this morning. Tell that to people getting dialysis or dealing with cancer of any kind. Tell that to that kid and that kid's family at one of these children's hospitals with an irreversible disease this morning. Again, my give a damn is busted all the way out. So we sit here when something like this happens. Oh, it was mental illness. Well, no kidding. Roger says, you will never change my mind about this. There is no excuse to commit suicide. Reach out, talk to someone. If your brain can process how you are attempting to do it, then you can process how you can talk to someone about your issues. I do not disagree at all. And I mean, and I'm telling you this as somebody who has lost multiple friends and a family member recently to this. Talk to people. It is dark, but it's always the darkest before dawn. We got to take a break. We ran over big time that last segment. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Now, we got a great text here. It says, drug-induced psychosis is not a disease. It's not. It's not. A lot of people I know have gone from, with the exception of two people that I could think of off the top of my head that killed themselves, most were drug-induced. Whether it was overdose or some type of, committing of suicide, like legitimate suicide. Tom says Lumumba and Owens committed political suicide when they decided to be dishonest. They should be men enough to resign. Yep. Third World Order says it is days without sleep will make anyone crazy. Yeah, man, all these amphetamines people are on, from Adderall to meth, and not sleeping. Like, I'm just telling you, somebody who's done it all. Speed, if you're taking speed because you're depressed, especially, like if you're doing drugs to overcome some depression, and you've chosen to use speed, whether it be Adderall or illegal substances like meth or whatever, cocaine, you are putting rocket fuel on that depression. You are whatever you're trying to outrun, you are not going to outrun it. You are turning it up to 11. You may get high for a minute and feel good while you're up here, but man, the second you got to come back down, that depression you were running from is now going to consume you like an ocean of water. I'm telling you, man, it's bad. And it's like people get mad at me for saying these things, but I've experienced all these things. I'm telling y'all this from a place of experience, not from a place of sitting on my high horse judging people. I did a bunch of drugs. I've stared down the barrel of a gun. I never said that out loud before. I hope my parents aren't listening. I hope my daughter's not listening. I have been at rock bottom. The Lord saw fit for that not to be my time. Thank God. I speak of all this from a place of experience. And I ain't judging people that take their own life. I'm not going to do that here today. But I am going to talk about people that choose to have other people do it for them that didn't ask to participate in that. It ain't fair. All right, we're about to come back from our break. I got to take a quick moment of silence here so I don't bleed over into the intro. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at who shall we do a live read for? How about lunch today? How about lunch at Burgers Blues Barbecue right there in Dogwood at Flowood, or in Flowood at Dogwood? Heck, they're open for breakfast right now. Swing by, get the fresh made, hand battered from scratch fried chicken and waffles. Sounds so good. They've even got they got $1 off. I know this sounds crazy in the mornings. They got $1 off Bloody Marys and draft beer and mimosas too, I think. That's not for your average folks. I'm talking to my third shift folks that are getting off from the hospitals over there. See, it's their 5 o'clock. It's your 8 o'clock. It's their 5 o'clock. Don't judge. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. But they got you covered there at Burgers Blues Barbecue. Don't forget, man, it's the holiday season. Let Burgers Blues Barbecue handle the cooking for you. Take advantage of the smoked hams, turkeys, and, of course, the smoked Boston butts. Oh, man, so good. They got it all there. They got chicken wings and more. Check out burgersblues.com or swing by any of their 3 great locations. Grab a plate lunch and talk to them about their catering menu, multiple food trucks, and more. We're going to be having the Christmas party, the 3rd annual, or is it the 4th annual? Clay Edwards Show Christmas party at the downtown Brandon location here. I hope to announce the date today. I got to decide if I'm going to do it on the Friday or the Monday. Christmas, either the Friday before Christmas or Christmas Eve, the Monday. We'll flip a coin, figure out which one works best for everybody, and make it happen. All right, let's jump back in. We got about 4 or 5 minutes left before we take our last break of the day. I want to get into your comments here. I think the comments are really, really good this morning. Let's see here. Unknown texter. Well, this is our buddy from Steve's Deli. I don't want to say the guy's name that he's talking about here, but he says, I saved a guy's life when he had a standoff in Belhaven. He wanted to die that day. I wish I'd never showed up and talked to. Okay, I'm gonna need some more context for that. Unknown texter. Suicide is a permanent fix to a temporary problem. You know, even if you think it's a temporary problem or it's a permanent problem, even if you think it's a permanent problem, it's still temporary is what I'm trying to say. Doesn't matter what it is. We humans can overcome a lot. I talked about mental health a little bit yesterday and just doing the little medial task every day, whether it's just getting up and cooking dinner, cooking breakfast, cooking lunch, going to work, working out, playing with your dogs. I got in the backyard yesterday and just played catch with my dogs. I think I had more fun than they did. I know I ran around getting the ball more than they did. They'd run and go get it and then wouldn't bring it back. I had to run and go get it. Anyway, but it was just fun. It was just little stuff to take your mind off whatever else you got going on. And I'm in a good place right now. I'm just saying, just the mental health stuff, it's a big part of this. But a lot of it is, you know, we throw this big blanket over mental health and like everything. Oh, mental health, it's a buzzword now. Some of it is just a lot of people are just mentally weak. You know, just need to toughen up a little bit. I know, I ain't supposed to say that. We're supposed to handle everybody with kid gloves. But you can't say that. You don't know what somebody's going through. I probably do. I probably do know what people are going through. I've been through a lot of self-inflicted bad things. I've been through some things that were out of my control. I've lost people. I've lost people ways I never imagined losing them. I battled addiction, bankruptcy. I mean, you name it. Been through a lot of stuff. Now, is there people that's been through worse? Absolutely. I mean, there's people who have lived terrible lives. people who were sexually assaulted as kids, like unimaginable things. I understand people go through stuff, but I still don't think any of that can't be overcome. Unknown texter. Suicide is a crime. If you survive a suicide attempt and refuse to go to psychiatric hospital, they will take you to jail. I don't know if they do it anymore, but I know they used to. Mansplain says, a couple of years ago, some young ladies were walking right on the edge of Old Fannin and Flowood. I saw them several times. Eventually, one got ran over. We are getting dumber as a society in a time when we should be getting smarter. The movie Idiocracy is a prophecy. You know, Sean and I talk about this a good bit. We live in an age right now where we have, I'm really just going to repeat what Mansplain just said. We have all of this knowledge at the tips of our fingers. We have the history of the world in these phones right here. Everything. And now with AI, everything. And we're dumber than we've ever been. There's no critical thinking skills. It's the people walking down the road comment is so dead on. I don't understand why human beings, I don't care what the law says. My car's got the right of way. Not you. Not your bicycle. My car has the right of way. The 2-ton piece of machinery with 300-400 horsepower has the right of way. Get out of the way. Man versus machine. There's only ever one winner. But that's where we've gotten in society, is people think they'll move until they don't. And then you're a run-over idiot in the road. Let's take our last break. We'll be right back. All right, guys. Let's run through some comments. I'm going to get up out of here. Let's come back and say goodbye to the radio crowd. Let's see here. Tom says some states help with suicide, and that's fine. I have no problem with the assisted suicide stuff done by a medical professional. If that's the Dr. Kevorkian stuff, I don't have a problem with that. That's just me. I know I'm probably sound like a hypocrite based on the other stuff I just said, but if somebody, and not for depression, but I mean, if somebody is literally in hospice on death's door and they want to, and they're in pain, I don't have a problem with that. You know, don't make people suffer to the end. Depression, man, I don't know. I just fail to believe that you can't overcome depression. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Angela. Third World says, sometimes you can't do nothing but spend some time on your knees and show the Lord patience. That's exactly what I'm saying. Tom, I'm reading these kind of backwards here. Says, what about people with certain medical conditions? If we're talking about the assisted suicide thing that I just spoke on, kind of to your, I'm assuming that's your point there. Third World said, we don't get intro music on the online. No, you don't. That's built into the radio. So what happens is on the radio, when I'm talking, when we're coming back from them breaks, the intro music, it ends up talking over it, the way the system works. Cynthia says, I agree 100%. I've worked mentally drug places. This is so true. I think she's saying she's worked in mental health drug places. Roger says, it's all a choice. It is not a disease. You chose to do that. You chose to take that. You chose it. Don't want it to be that way. Change your mindset. If you go to work with that mindset of today is going to suck, then it sucks. Change your thinking, change who you hang around, surround yourself with positivity. That's what I did. when I decided to quit doing drugs is I changed who I was hanging around. It was that simple. Sometimes it's more difficult, but life ain't easy. So you got to make tough decisions. Oh, let's see here. All right. We are about 2 minutes from coming back from the break. I'm going to say farewell to my radio, to the online audience here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. That's a tough subject to have that conversation on, so it can be a little clunky, trying to work through it. I understand that. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me. I feel like that phone call completely wrecked the momentum of that conversation, but I wanted to get that off my chest. I want people to know it's okay to talk about stuff. It is okay to have tough conversations. You do not have to continue to just do what society says and ignore things. You do not have to put every person that commits suicide up on a mountaintop. Deify these people, turn them into martyrs. No, you don't have to do that. It is not taboo to talk about it. All right, welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We got about a minute left here. What I was just telling the online audience during the break there, try to squeeze this in the next 40 seconds. It is not, we got to start having conversations. It is not taboo to talk about the things we talked about today. The more we talk about these things, maybe one person hears this and says to themselves, man, is this how they're going to talk about me after I'm gone? I don't want to do that. I thought everybody put you up on top of a mountain and built a statue of you when you died. I didn't know they were going to talk bad about me after I killed myself. Maybe I don't want to do it now. Chip Matthews up next. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I mean that last little line there. I mean, I seriously think that when people are in deep, deep depression there, they think that if they kill themselves, everybody will remember them greatly and fondly. And then when they don't, they're not here to see it. All right, I got to go. Chip Matthews coming up next on the radio. I got to get out of the studio. Y'all be blessed.